Hi folks, Des Phoebe here and welcome to another episode of The Franchise Entrepreneur. And today I want to talk to you about growing or dying. I'm talking about your business, obviously, not yourself. Does this still ring true? Are you a believer in it? Expansion or stagnation, a different phrase for the same meaning. Now, I am personally a big believer in that you are either growing or you are dying. You're either expanding or you're stagnating. The reality is that the world changes very, very quickly. If you're not moving forward, you are moving backwards. It's one of the first things that I was probably ever told in business, and it's kind of stayed with me since then. And I still think that rings true today. I think if you are not moving your business forward, you are leaving yourself very vulnerable to changes in the market. Whichever business you're in, you're leaving yourself potentially vulnerable to competition, taking you over, taking market share. And your costs are always rising. Costs don't go down. Your cost base never goes down, whatever business you're in. So if you're not moving your business forward, creating new products, expanding, your margins and your profits get eaten into all of the time. And that could just be that you're taking more money out of the business yourself because your personal expenses are going up. That's got to come from somewhere. So I'm absolutely a believer in you're growing or you're dying. You should always be evolving, always chasing that optimum version of yourself and the optimum version for your business. It's not just about your business that I'm talking about as well here. I think you can apply this same thing to yourself personally. So yes, this can apply to you personally as well as the business, because if you're not constantly trying to improve yourself, then you will stagnate and you will potentially lose ground to your competition. You'll potentially not keep up with the times. You may not realize that your business is moving forward, that the sector that you're in is moving forward, and that you're falling behind in terms of your own personal knowledge, which in turn impacts on your business. So it's not just about your physical business, it's also about yourself as well. Improving your own vocabulary, your own intellect, your own knowledge by reading books, going to courses, etc. Now, we need to constantly replace ourselves with the next best version of ourselves. If you look back at where you were 10 years ago, are you still the same person as 10 years ago? You know, what have you learned over those 10 years? I'm sure most of us will look back on it and say, well, you know, I've learned this, and this. I've moved forward. I've made all of those decisions. These are the improvements that I've made, not just on myself, but on my business. Very few of us, I think, will look back on it and say, yeah, you know, I'm pretty much doing exactly the same thing as I was before. I haven't learned anything. Or maybe quite a lot of people are in that situation. You know, if you're in a dead-end job, and that's a particular scenario, where because you're not being challenged on a day-to-day basis and maybe you're very happy to just keep on doing that same old job, you don't grow. You don't learn anything new, you don't grow, and therefore, you know, 10 years down the line, you probably would look back on it and you're still doing the same old thing. In my experience, business owners, entrepreneurs are not those type of people. They will be constantly growing, learning, moving forward and reinventing themselves and replacing themselves with the next best version of themselves. And that's exactly the same kind of attitude that you adopt with your business if you want to keep it healthy and moving forward. Again, if you look at yourself personally, you know, it's about education. It could be your fitness, your family, marriage, whether you're giving to charity, creating memories. It needs to be your intention to expand and grow in all of those areas. You know, quite often you have to run to the pain and get uncomfortable in situations in business and in personal life to challenge yourself. That leads to the growth. You know, it's very difficult to get to the external things that you want without growing. You know, whether that's strategizing for your business and becoming or working out a strategy for growth, or in your own personal life. If you can't grow, you will not achieve those external assets or rewards and things that you want out of life. I mean, ask yourself this: how many times over the last month have you put yourself in a situation that has made you uncomfortable? It's that uncomfortable feeling that makes you achieve more, makes you want to grow more, that challenges you, that puts you into situations where you have to evaluate and look for solutions. It's those kind of challenges, it's kind of pain that you can go through in the gym in order to grow your muscles. It's the same thing in your business. In order to grow, sometimes you have to go through an element of pain. You know, it's funny, when you talk to anyone about moving forward or stagnating, you know, or your business will die if you don't keep moving it forward, they take that almost literally, that it has to be always a business decision, or it starts with a business decision. More often than not, what I found is that when I make the changes in my personal life to develop and move forward, it actually starts to manifest itself also in the business. It's almost you're creating a momentum, you're changing a habit and moving forward, and you take that then into your business. So if you really want to change things in your business or move your business forward, more often than not, it's the little things that you do in your personal life. So those small changes and those small improvements creates momentum. That momentum creates growth. And the growth that you get in your personal life, that can be things like, you know, what you are reading, or what you're listening to on, say, your podcasts, how you're educating yourself. Or it can be your diet, how you feed yourself, the nutrition that you put into your body, your health, your drinking habits, your fitness. All of those small decisions that you make that create a habit, that create change, that create improvements in your personal life or growth in your personal life. And believe me, looking after your health is absolutely fundamental to that as well. Enables you to take some of that habit and some of that momentum then into your business. And then you start to see progress in your business because you're starting to make quicker decisions, you're starting to make better decisions. You're not procrastinating, you're not stagnating. Because you're not stagnating in your personal life, you're moving forward and you take that forward into your business. And I think that's where you create real momentum and growth. To take it literally and just start to isolating it to your business without having it within your personal life, I think it becomes very, very difficult. It's easier to create those small wins within your personal life and then take them into your business that will help you. In my opinion, you know, it can be just little things like who you hang around with, who inspires you, who makes you want to perform and grow. It could be, you know, a personal friend that, you know, we all probably have a personal friend that when we know that they're coming around for dinner or coming around to the house, you go that extra mile to impress them. And it's normally because you want to emulate what they've achieved. That's not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing in comparing yourself in a positive way. You're trying to improve yourself to try and emulate that person. It can help you. It can help you grow. The vice versa to that is there are always people probably in your community who are negative, who are not achievers, who are always looking on the downside of things, who are always expressing negative thoughts. Too much of that will bring you down. Surround yourself with people who are more inspirational, who are more motivational is a good thing. You know, it's the network that you hang around with that can quite often lead to momentum again. You know, it comes down to the momentum, which will then lead to the growth. You have to be specific and intentional with your decisions, as opposed to just being general and vague. So what I mean by that is that set yourselves deadlines. Otherwise it becomes a wish. You know, make it simple. Small, regular steps lead to momentum. Momentum leads to growth. Momentum is a magnifier. It can take an average person to do and achieve extraordinary results. Again, momentum will often lead to winners. You know, take sports teams for example. You know, take Leicester City in in the Premier League, they created momentum. They weren't necessarily the best football team in the league, in terms of individual skills or capabilities, but they created momentum. And you can see it time and time again with sports teams. When they create momentum, they're not necessarily the best team, but they become the most consistent. They create that momentum, that rhythm that leads to the momentum that leads to the success. Success always has a rhythm, and it's called momentum. Don't get comfortable, don't stagnate, don't procrastinate. That's when your business will suffer, it will go backwards. When you get too comfortable, that's when momentum stops, and this is when you go backwards. Growth is gone and you start to die. Gain that momentum from small wins. That can just be from winning that account, losing that bit of weight, making those extra phone calls, getting up early, going to the gym, changing your diet. Those small wins you then take into your business. That then leads to the momentum. If you want to catch those dreams, then you have to get momentum into your life. You do the small things, they compound. You keep doing it, then you look back and wow, you've created this multi-million pound business. You have the savings, money in the bank, assets, house, and that momentum you've created now leads to the dream catching. And all of this comes about through not stagnating, through moving forward, through growing and not dying. To achieve the growth, you've got to achieve and create momentum. Momentum leads to the growth, growth leads to the success. So I hope you found that podcast interesting, and please do leave reviews, and I will catch you again at the same time next week. And don't forget, do not let your reality get in the way of your dream.